This video continues with chapter 181 Did I Let You Go? Across the Infinite, a Kryptonian's Odyssey. Chapter 181 Did I Let You Go? The crowd laughed. This guy can really brag. These three security guards, nicknamed the Linhai Three Wolves, once fought off a team of 50 people. Ye Wudao wanted to defeat them all by himself. It was a wishful thinking. Ye Wudao stood there, unmoving. It wasn't until the three security guards came within 2 meters of him that Ye Wudao tapped his right foot 3 times on the ground. Whoosh whoosh. 3 stones were kicked by him and flew straight towards the 3 security guards. The next second, a popping sound came. 3 stones actually penetrated the thighs of 3 security guards. The blood splashed far away with the stones. The screams, like slaughtering pigs, are endless. The 3 security guards fell to the ground rolling and howling while holding their pierced thighs. Gah! The air at the scene suddenly froze, and everyone looked at the scene in disbelief. Devil, is this guy a devil? The stones he kicked were as powerful as bullets, directly penetrating a person's body. How could a person have such powerful explosive power? The contractor was also instantly surrounded by deep fear. He realized that he had kicked an iron plate this time, and it was a red-hot iron plate. Bastard, how can a lame guy know such an awesome person? He was frightened and wanted to run away. Moreover, the cement on his body is about to dry up. If he doesn't take care of it as soon as possible, he may be imprisoned by the cement. Stop, Ye Wudao said coldly. Did I let you go? The contractor ignored Ye Wudao and ran away. Stop this madman quickly. Before anyone could react, Ye Wudao tapped his toes on the ground again. A stone shot out and hit the contractor's chest directly. A crisp click sound came, and one of the contractor's ribs was broken on the spot. Ah! The contractor screamed and fell to the ground, covering his chest. Blood flowed out from between the fingers. Kneel down and apologize. Ye Wudao's eyes turned red. The contractor was really going crazy. You can't kill me, you can't. I know the project leader Ye Wudao. If you dare to hurt me, he will definitely kill you. Ye Wudao was stunned. No me. Why didn't I know? Mouse also glanced at Ye Wudao inexplicably. Brother Yi is the person in charge of this project, or does he have the same name as the project leader? Ye Wudao probed. Why, Ye Wudao is very powerful. The contractor sneered. Of course, I know FanFiction, the richest man in Linhai, and he also has a certain amount of energy in the officialdom. Who doesn't know that FanFiction covers the sky with one hand in Linhai City? No matter how good you are in fighting, can you be bigger than the entire Linhai City? Ye Wudao was indifferent. FanFiction? Sorry, he is also a bedbug in my eyes. The contractor said arrogantly. Haha, boy, you are dead. How dare you insult Mr. Shen at this time? Cheng Xiaoyu was attracted by the movement here. Why are you all gathering here? Why don't you hurry up and get to work? The foreman immediately grabbed the life-saving straw and shouted, Manager Cheng, help, help. Cheng Xiaoyu glanced at the contractor, and suddenly his head was as big as an ox. Did you fall into the cement? What happened? The contractor pointed at Ye Wudao. It was him, he did it. He trespassed on the construction site, and I wanted to drive him out. But he threw me into the mud truck at the slightest disagreement and even hurt my people. Cheng Xiaoyu glanced at Ye Wudao and stared at the boss. Brother-in-law? Why are you here? Brother-in-law? Everyone present was stunned. Manager Cheng's brother-in-law, isn't he Ye Wudao? Could it be that the man in front of me is— Chapter 182 How dare you covet someone -039's life-saving money? The contractor asked terrifiedly. Manager Cheng, who is this person? Cheng Xiaoyu said, Nonsense, he is the project manager, Ye Wudao. What? The contractor's pupils shrank instantly. This unremarkable guy turned out to be Ye Wudao, who has been in the limelight recently. That dead cripple who is humiliated by everyone actually knows the project manager. The funny thing is that I just used Ye Wudao to intimidate him. The contractor's mood now is worse than eating. He had difficulty breathing, and he didn't know whether he was scared or the cement solidified and blocked his nostrils. Cheng Xiaoyu said cautiously. Brother-in-law, what's going on? Ye Wudao took a deep breath. This bastard bullied my brother. W circumflex, W circumflex, W circumflex. Cheng Xiaoyu asked curiously. Brother-in-law, do you know lame? Hey, your brother is not easy. His daughter is sick and hospitalized, and he has to work to earn money for his daughter's treatment. But Lame himself is also sick and weak. How can he bear such high-intensity work? He has fainted several times in the past few days. I felt sorry for him, so I advanced him 2 months' salary and asked him to go back to take care of his daughter. But he insisted on coming. Heazi said inexplicably. Manager Cheng, I didn't get my salary. Cheng Xiaoyu was stunned. How is it possible? I personally told the contractor about this matter. Could it be? She looked at the contractor with anger. Fatty, did you do what I said? The contractor was so scared that his face turned pale. Manager Cheng, I haven't had time to arrange it yet. Cheng Xiaoyu was so angry that she rushed up and kicked the contractor hard. Are you still a person? You dare to embezzle other people's life-saving money. Get out of here. We don't want scum like you here. The contractor was dumbfounded. Manager Cheng, you can't fire me. I have old people and young children. Cheng Xiaoyu cursed. Get out. Your children are children, but other people's children are not. How can there be such a heartless beast like you in the world? Ye Wudao said coldly. Kneel down and kowtow 100 times. Eat these 2 buns, and then get out. The contractor was dumbfounded. The cement on his body was about to solidify, and after kowtow 100 times, he might become a cement man. He begged bitterly, Mr. Yi, I was wrong. I will go clean up first and then kowtow. Ye Wudao. If you keep talking nonsense, I will kowtow 200 times. The contractor dared not talk nonsense anymore, knelt on the ground and kowtowed. If he kowtowed 100 times, he might still have a chance to survive. But if he kowtowed 200 times, he would be completely turned into a cement man. Ye Wudao said to Cheng Xiaoyu, Xiaoyu, keep an eye on him. Heazi and I will go see his daughter. Cheng Xiaoyu nodded. Brother-in-law, don't worry. I will never agree if this guy kowtows 1 less time and eats 1 less steamed bun. Ye Wudao pulled Heazi to the Michelin breakfast he packed. Originally, this breakfast was packed for Zulinger and Xiaoyu, but now it seems that Heazi needs it more. He handed the breakfast to Heazi. Heazi, you haven't had breakfast yet. Eat it now. Heazi took it carefully and said, Brother Yi, I want to bring it to my daughter. My daughter hasn't eaten such delicious food yet. Ye Wudao sighed. Hey, it's okay. You eat first. I'll go get another one later. No need to spend more money. Heazi said hurriedly. I'll bring my own breakfast. As he said that, Heazi took out a plastic bag from a corner. The plastic bag contained instant noodles, cakes, and biscuits. Ye Wudao clearly found that the packaging bag was written with blood donation love meal. He grabbed Heazi's arm and took a closer look. Heazi's skinny arm was full of needle holes. It was obvious that this guy sold blood to get these cakes. And he was going to give these cakes to his daughter. He didn't even rest after selling blood, and came to the construction site to work. Even an Iron Man couldn't stand such tossing. Chapter 183. Where is my daughter? Ye Wudao's nose was a little sour. Old brother, you have suffered. Heazi smiled foolishly. For my daughter, no matter how hard it is worth it. Ye Wudao said, let's go and see my goddaughter. The two agreed in high school that when they had children, they would recognize each other as their adopted sons and daughters. Heazi said, if Wanner knew that she had a godfather who was a boss, she would definitely be very happy. On the way, Ye Wudao asked about her daughter's situation. The girl's name was Wanner, which was a name that Heazi chose after looking up the dictionary for 2 days. When Wanner was just born, she weighed 7 pounds and was always healthy. But when she was 3 years old, she suddenly had a high fever that never subsided. She went to the hospital for a checkup and found out that it was congenital heart disease. This disease requires high surgery costs, and Heazi's financial conditions cannot afford it at all. W circumflex W circumflex W circumflex. Hayazi did not give up. He sold all his property to treat his daughter, but even so, the surgery fee was still out of reach. Now Hayazi is left with only flesh and blood and strength. In order to raise enough medical expenses, he can only work day and night and eat only 2 meals a day. He even sold blood to supplement his daughter's nutrition. His body has long been overdrawn. He is in middle age, but looks like he is in his 50s or 60s. He is often mistaken for Wanner's grandfather. Ye Wudao patted Hayazi on the shoulder. Where is your sister-in-law? She should not be working. She is in the hospital with her children. Hayazi suddenly fell silent, his eyes a little red. After a long time, he gritted his teeth and said, "She died a long time ago." Huh? Ye Wudao frowned. Judging from Hayazi's reaction, sister-in-law must not be as simple as dead. However, Hayazi refused to say it, and there must be something unspeakable. Ye Wudao couldn't be aggressive, so he had to change the subject. Who takes care of Wanner in the hospital on weekdays? Hayazi said, "I don't have money to let Wanner stay in the ward, so I have to temporarily board in the utility room of the hospital. The cleaning lady in charge of the utility room is from my hometown. When I go to work, she helps me take care of it." Living in the utility room, Ye Wudao was touched. This child is so young, but he has suffered hardships that adults may not be able to endure. This reminded him of himself. The two of them were in the same boat. Soon, the two came to the hospital. Unexpectedly, this hospital was the Renai hospital where Zhu Dahai used to work. The vice president of this hospital is Ye Wudao's cheap apprentice, although Ye Wudao has always refused to admit it. Hayazi took Ye Wudao to the utility room and knocked on the door gently. A sarcastic female voice came from the door. "Who is it? Disturbing my rest." Hayazi hurriedly said in a low voice, "Sister Wang, it's me, Hayazi. Where's my daughter?" Sister Wang said impatiently, "Shouldn't you be at the construction site now? Why are you back?" Hayazi said, "Oh, I met a friend and asked for leave." Sister Wang said, "Your daughter is dying. You don't make time to make money to save your daughter. You still have the nerve to ask for leave. You have no conscience." Hayazi asked again, "Sister Wang, please open the door. My friend wants to see my daughter." Sister Wang said impatiently, "The little beggar is opposite." "What?" Hayazi was a little anxious. "Sister Wang, how can you let my daughter live in there?" Sister Wang said, "Nonsense, I'm resting in the utility room. That little beggar always makes noise and disturbs my rest." Chapter 184. From now on, I and -039 LL take care of everything. Ye Wudao hurriedly looked back. Opposite the utility room is a public toilet. Wanner, couldn't she be in the toilet? This is impossible. How could anyone be so cruel as to leave a 4 or 5-year-old girl alone in the toilet? Hayazi lowered his head and went into the toilet. Ye Wudao's heart ached like a needle, and he followed closely. In the toilet, a thin little girl was curled up in the corner, twitching from time to time. She was wearing a simple dress, loose and baggy but very clean. It should be an adult's clothes that had been altered to be smaller. Her face was pale, but her facial features were very delicate. She was a real beauty. She fell asleep, with tears hanging on her long eyelashes, holding half an apple in her hand, pitiful and heartbreaking. The most intolerable thing was that she had an iron chain tied around her neck. The other end of the chain was tied to the sewer pipe. Only animals could do such a thing. Ye Wudao clenched his fists, and veins on his arms bulged. Hayazi burst into tears on the spot, hurriedly trotted up, and gently picked up Wanner. "Wanner, wake up. Dad is back." The little girl opened her eyes. Her big eyes, like grapes, were clear and bright, adding a lot of points to her facial features. When she found out that it was her father, Wanner smiled and stretched out her hands to hug Hayazi's neck. "Dad, hold me. Dad, hold me." Hayazi forced a smile and said, "Wanner, let's go out. Dad brought you something delicious." Wanner suddenly remembered something and hurriedly showed the half-apple in her hand to Hayazi. Dad, the apple that Grandpa's son gave me is so sweet. As she said that, she took a light bite and chewed hard. Hayazi asked, Did Wanner say thank you to Grandpa's son? Wanner nodded. I did. Wanner is very obedient. That's good. Hayazi said, Let's go. Dad brought you something more delicious. Let's go out to eat. Ye Wudao hurried forward and wanted to take off the chain on Wanner's neck. Unexpectedly, Wanner suddenly became nervous. I can't go out. Andy said that if she doesn't come, I can't go out. Ye Wudao said, Andy? Hayazi sighed. It's Sister Wang. Ye Wudao suppressed the anger in his heart and comforted. Girl, Uncle just saw Andy. Andy said you can go out. Wanner still looked scared. I can't go out. Auntie needs to give me a needle. It hurts. Acupuncture. Ye Wudao's pupils constricted. Where does Andy give me a needle? Wanner hesitated for a moment and finally slowly stretched out her little hand. There were a few needle holes on her fingers. Although there was no bleeding after all, the 10 fingers are connected to the heart. Hayazi burst into tears on the spot and kissed Wanner's fingers. Wanner, Dad is useless. Dad is sorry for you. Ye Wudao's eyes also burst into angry sparks. Hayazi, wait for me here for a while. Later cover Wanner's ears. As he said, he was about to go out. Hayazi asked hurriedly, Brother Yi, where are you going? Ye Wudao, my brother, my goddaughter, not everyone can bully them. Hayazi said hurriedly, Brother Yi, forget it. After all, we still have to ask others to treat the disease. Ye Wudao, shut up. From now on, I'll take care of everything. I'll take care of everything. Hayazi's tears flowed again. When he was in high school, the 4 words that Ye Wudao said to him the most were I'll take care of everything. After so many years, hearing these 4 words again, he felt mixed emotions. Ye Wudao walked straight to the utility room and kicked the door away. Get out of here. Chapter 185 Apologize to Wan and Ash 039 Wang Gixing, the cleaning lady, was sleeping soundly. The sudden loud noise startled her and she jumped out of bed. Who is it? Ye Wudao said coldly, the one who wants to kill you. When Wang Gixing found out that it was a stranger, she became even angrier and pointed at Ye Wudao and cursed. Who the hell are you? Get out of here. As she said that, she came up to push Ye Wudao out. Ye Wudao simply grabbed her shoulders and threw her out of the door. Wang Gixing flew out of the utility room, hit the wall, and fell to the ground, screaming in pain. You bastard, who the hell are you? You dare to hit me, you are looking for death. Ye Wudao said angrily, go to the bathroom and apologize to Wanner. Ye Wudao knew in his heart that Wang Gixing had left a deep psychological shadow on Wanner. If this shadow in her heart is not eliminated, it may affect Wanner's worldview and future personality. Wang Gixing cursed, I understand, you are the friend of Hayazi. You want me to apologize to a little beggar, wishful thinking. Ye Wudao smiled coldly, if you don't apologize, then go to hell. Ye Wudao kicked Wang Gixing again, and kicked her 7 or 8 meters away. He didn't want Wanner to hear the noise outside, lest Wanner be afraid of him. W circumflex .1 zoom I.cc So, it's better to deal with the problem away from the bathroom. This kick was more powerful than before. After Wang Gixing landed, her body curled up like a big shrimp, vomited several mouthfuls of blood, had difficulty breathing, and her face turned pale. Such a big commotion attracted many people to watch and talk about it. Who is this guy? He dared to hit Wang Gixing. Everyone knows that Wang Gixing's husband is the captain of the hospital security team and her elder brother is the hospital director. This kind of person is not easy to mess with. Hey, this young man is too impulsive. Impulsiveness is the devil. Wang Gixing's teeth were creaking, and her expression was ferocious and terrifying. Die, you must die. Lao Wang, get over here quickly, someone is bullying your wife. Soon, several security guards squeezed into the crowd. The scene in front of them made several security guards furious. The security captain, Lao Wang, rushed to Wang Gixing and asked, Wife, who the hell did it? Wang Gixing pointed at Ye Wudao and said, "It was him." Lao Wang stood up, pulled out the electric baton in his arms, and walked towards Ye Wudao with murderous intent. "Boy, you know, the hospital is a place to save the dying and the wounded. I rarely hurt people. But you hit my wife. Today I'm going to make an exception and kill you. Brothers, grab your weapons." The several security guards he brought took out their electric batons and surrounded Ye Wudao. Ye Wudao said disdainfully, "A few little bugs are not qualified to talk to me. Tell your dean to roll over. If I can't see him in 10 minutes, he can't do it." Puff. Lao Wang couldn't help laughing. "You are still talking nonsense when you are about to die. I really admire your courage. Come on." Several security guards accelerated to narrow the encirclement and rushed towards him with electric batons. There was a sound of gasps at the scene, and everyone was sweating for the young man in their hearts. This young man, with his bare hands, could not possibly win against 4 or 5 security guards armed with electric batons. Everyone could even imagine how miserable Ye Wudao would be in a moment. Many people could not bear to see the cruel scene that followed and closed their eyes. Ye Wudao remained motionless. It was not until the security guards were more than 3 meters away from him that Ye Wudao finally made a move. He shook his arms, and more than a dozen silver needles appeared in his palms. Chapter 186 can save people, but can also kill people. 13 needles of Qianluo can save people, but they can also kill people. He moved his palm skillfully, and the silver needle quickly flew out, accurately piercing the pain points of several security guards. The 13 needles of Qianluo were created by him himself, and he had already reached the state of integrating acupuncture and man. The sign of the unity of acupuncture and man is the ability to isolate acupuncture points. The next second, 4 or 5 security guards suddenly had a spasm all over their bodies and then fell heavily to the ground, screaming in pain. "Hey, what's going on? It hurts me to death. Why do I feel like there are 10,000 ants in my body biting my internal organs? It hurts me so much. Help, help." Ye Wudao had just stabbed 5 of their painful points. The pain was comparable to that of a pregnant woman giving birth. It's strange how many people are useless. The onlookers were dumbfounded. What's going on at the scene? Just now, Ye Wudao only moved his arms twice, without touching the enemy at all. The opponent fell to the ground, useless. Could it be that the fighting cows in the air on TV really exists in this world? This is too ridiculous. Because the silver needle is so small and moves so fast, most people don't even notice its existence. Lao Wang was so painful that he became incontinent and peed all over his crotch. His face was completely disgraced. He was really going crazy. "Front desk. Where is the front desk? Why the hell are you standing there? Call my brother quickly." My brother is the director of the hospital. He knows people from the Ministry of Industrial Safety. I want to put him in jail. The receptionist finally came to his senses, hurriedly took out his cell phone and dialed Dean Hu Yaoking's number. At this moment, Dean Hu Yaoking is having a meeting in the conference room. Although he is the dean, he is not the protagonist of this meeting. Today, he spent a lot of effort to invite Lai Yixiao, the president of the Traditional Chinese Medicine Association, to come to Ren Hospital to guide the work. Lai Yixiao's status was several levels higher than his. With the other party around, there would be no chance for him to shine. When talking about the last Global Traditional Chinese Medicine Forum, Mr. Yi single-handedly turned the tide and saved the reputation of traditional Chinese medicine. Lai Yixiao became obviously excited and high-spirited, as if he was the one who took action at that time, slapping Western medicine in the face and saving the reputation of traditional Chinese medicine. Hu Yaoking said cautiously, "Mr. Lai, do you have the contact information of Dr. Yi? Our Renai Hospital is willing to hire him as the honorary president. Of course, he does not need to come to work or even perform any obligations. He is just a name. As for salary and benefits, it is the highest in the industry." Lai Yixiao sighed. Hey, although this doctor Yi has outstanding medical skills, he is very low-key. He is not willing to invite me to be the president of the Chinese Medical Association, let alone a small dean. This disappointed everyone. At this time, Hu Yaoking's cell phone rang. He hung up quickly. How dare he answer the phone when there was a meeting with Lai Yixiao? But as soon as he hung up, the other party called again, repeated several times in succession. Lai Yi smiled and said, Hu Yaoking, take it. It might be a matter of life and death. Hu Yaoking smiled apologetically and answered the phone. He scolded, What's going on? Didn't I tell you that I'm in a meeting, so don't disturb me? The receptionist said hurriedly, The director is in trouble. Your sister and brother-in-law have been killed. Please come over and take a look. What? Hu Yaoking exploded immediately. In one's own territory, one's own relatives are crippled, and the other party must have had the heart of a bear and the courage of a leopard. Hu Yaoking said I understand and hung up the phone. He said apologetically, Mr. Lai, there was an accident in the hospital. I have to go over and deal with it. I'm very sorry. I'll be back as soon as I'm done. Chapter 187 Don't call me master. You don't deserve it. Lai Yixiao nodded. Well, you go first. Hu Yaoking agreed and left in a hurry. After he left, Lai Yixiao slapped his head and said, Hey, we should go over and take a look. The accident that happened in the hospital must be a medical accident. We may be able to help. Everyone nodded and said yes. Lai Yixiao then led everyone to the outpatient department of the hospital. Hu Yaoking arrived at the scene quickly. The scene in front of him made him furious. His sister was beaten black and blue, and she vomited blood. Although his brother-in-law had no external injuries, he was screaming in pain, obviously suffering from serious internal injuries. Who the hell did this? Hu Yaoking cursed. Wang Gixing hurriedly shouted, Brother, it was that bastard who beat us. Call the police quickly and let the police arrest him. Hu Yaoking glared at Ye Wudao and roared, Bastard, this is a hospital, a place to save the dying and the wounded. How can you run wild? Now, apologize to my sister and brother-in-law immediately and compensate them for their medical expenses and economic losses. Otherwise, don't blame me for being ruthless. Ye Wudao responded, You said exactly what I want to say. Now, compensate my brother for medical expenses and mental damages, otherwise you will bear the consequences. Hu Yaoking, arrogant, extremely arrogant. Since you want to go to jail, I will fulfill your wish. As he said, Hu Yaoking took out his mobile phone and was about to call the police. Ye Wudao said, As the head of a hospital, in order to help his family, you arbitrarily convict people without asking questions. It seems that you have bad conduct. People like you have a lot of stains in your work. Wait for the investigation. Hu Yaoking suddenly hesitated. Why does this guy speak so like a leader? He even wants to investigate me. Could it be that he has some background? Wang Gixing hurriedly shouted, Brother, don't listen to his bragging. We nzu.cc. This guy is a friend of Heiazi. What power can he have? Hu Yaoking finally let go of his hanging heart and immediately pressed the dial button. Who is Heiazi? A poor guy who sells blood for food. His friend must be a waste. What ability can he have? The crowd couldn't stand it anymore and persuaded Ye Wudao. Young man, a good man doesn't suffer a loss in front of him. Just admit your mistake. You are still young. If you are really arrested and have a criminal record, it will affect your life in the second half of your life. Yes, Dean Hu is not someone you can mess with. Ye Wudao remained calm, as if he didn't hear it. He would not take such a small person seriously. At this time, an old man suddenly emerged from the crowd. What are you all doing here? Hurry up and get to work. The person who came was none other than Sun Sheng, the former vice president of the hospital and Ye Wudao's cheap apprentice. However, because he and the president Hu Yaoking had different ideas, his position was demoted again, and now he has become a handyman. As soon as he squeezed in, he found Ye Wudao. He was overjoyed and hurried to Ye Wudao. Master, why are you here? Ye Wudao nodded coldly. Don't call me master, you don't deserve it. Sun Shen looked embarrassed. He, master, it doesn't matter if you don't recognize me, I just recognize you. Ku Yeaking's eyes lit up. Sun Sheng is Ye Wudao's apprentice. God really helps me. Hu Yeaking wanted to fire Sun Shen a long time ago, but he couldn't find an excuse. Now the ready-made opportunity is delivered to his door, how can he miss it? He shouted angrily, Sun Sheng, you are now fired from the hospital, pack up and get out immediately. Chapter 188 Provoked Dr. Yi. Sun Sheng suddenly panicked, fired. Why do you fire me indiscriminately? At his age, it would be difficult to find a job if he was fired. Others will definitely think that he is going to collect his pension. Hu Yeaking said, this guy is your master. As a hospital employee, you don't defend the interests of the hospital, but you allow your master to beat people in the hospital and disrupt order. Do you think you should be fired? Hit people. Sun Sheng glanced at the people lying on the ground and suddenly laughed wildly. Well done, master, you did a great job. These people are all relatives of Hu Yeaking. Through this relationship, they dominate and domineering in the hospital and even harass female nurses. They are typical hospital overlords. People in the hospital dare to be angry but dare not speak out. They have long ago it's time to fight. And Hu Yeaking, he was just a profit-seeking villain. He killed countless people for profit. Master, why didn't you kill him? I'm willing to go all out. Even if I get fired today, I still have to expose your false face. Hu Yeaking's face turned purple with anger. You bastard, how dare you slander me? Just wait, not only will you be fired today, but you will even be jailed. By the way, Lai Yixiao, the president of the Traditional Chinese Medicine Association, is also inspecting our hospital. When the time comes, I will ask him to remove you two from the medical system. You two will never want to practice medicine. Ye Wudao smiled slightly. Lai Yixiao is here too? Then things will be easier to handle. However, Sun Sheng panicked. If Lai Yixiao really wanted to take action against them, they might really be kicked out of the medical system. What will you eat and drink for the rest of your life? Said cow has arrived. At this time, Lai Yixiao led his people into the encirclement. Lao Hu, what happened? Hu Yeaking hurriedly explained, Mr. Lai, two gangsters committed an attack in the hospital in broad daylight and injured hospital officials. Don't worry, I've already called the police. Lai Yixiao became furious. HMPH, the hospital is a sacred place for saving lives and healing the wounded. How can we allow gangsters to run wild? They must be severely punished. Hu Yeaking continued, Mr. Lai, these two people are still from the medical system. I suspect that they are deliberately causing trouble in order to compete with us. I now strongly recommend that you remove these two people from the medical system. What? Lai Yixiao became even more angry. Doctors, if you don't treat diseases and save people properly, you will only think of some evil ways, and your sin will be increased. Who is it? These two guys must be punished severely. Hu Yeaking pointed at Ye Wudao and Sun Sheng. That's the two of them. Sun Sheng suddenly felt cold from head to toe. Lai Yixiao is really going to take action, and this time it's completely over. Lai Yixiao looked in the direction of Hu Yeaking's finger. When he found Ye Wudao, his head exploded with a buzz. Damn it, isn't this Doctor Yi who turned the tide on the Chinese medicine forum? Hu Yeaking, this damn thing, provoked Dr. Yi. Dr. Yi is the future of Chinese medicine. Even he wants to flatter Dr. Yi. Why should Hu Yeaking offend others? He hurriedly ran up and said, Dr. Yi, I've been looking for you for a long time. I didn't expect to meet you here. I'm glad to meet you. What? Everyone present was shocked. How could the dignified president of the Traditional Chinese Medicine Association, a department-level figure, be so respectful to this young man? How noble is this young man? No wonder he was so confident when facing Hu Yaoqing just now, and he was pretending to be a pig to eat the tiger in love. Hu Yaoqing's mind exploded, and the words Miracle Dr. Yi were all in his mind. Chapter 189. Come here. Even when he was beaten to death, he never expected that this young man was actually the legendary Miracle Dr. Yi. Damn it, even Lai Yixia respects Miracle Dr. Yi. Why is he so low-key, no different from ordinary people? If I had known that he was Dr. Yi, I wouldn't have dared to offend him even if I beat him to death. He knew very well that in Lai Yixiao's heart, Dr. Yi was the future of Chinese medicine and was more important than his life. It's over, Ye Wudao said indifferently. Lai Yixiao, the soldiers you lead are really good. Doctors are parents, so there is no reason for parents to chain patients to the bathroom. Moreover, in order to protect his shortcomings, this dean who convicts people indiscriminately and wants to kick people out of the medical system. How can he be a dean with this kind of character? One rat droppings can ruin a pot of soup. When the onlookers heard this, they immediately became angry and accused Hu Yaoqing one after another. Chaining a patient to the bathroom is a human thing. Lai Yixiao was so angry that his lungs almost exploded. Lai Yixiao, you are a beast. You can do this kind of thing. The doctor's face has been completely shamed by you. Hu Yaoqing explained tremblingly, Mr. Lai, there is a misunderstanding. It must be a misunderstanding. How could I tie the patient to the bathroom? Wang Gixing refused to accept it and argued, it's good that we didn't kick him out since he couldn't afford the hospitalization money. It's a gift to him to tie him to the bathroom. Hu Yaoqing wished he could jump up and scold his mother. The stubborn Wang Gixing has failed more than succeeded, so why did she just admit it? This time he had absolutely no room for maneuver. Lai Yixiao stared at Hu Yaoqing with cannibalistic eyes. If you refuse to save someone for the sake of profit, and even disregard human life, you cannot be a doctor. From now on, you are removed from the medical system, pending investigation. Hu Yaoqing felt desperate. He was so dirty that he couldn't withstand inspection. In order to protect himself, he had no choice but to sacrifice his sister. He rushed to Wang Gixing and kicked him hard. Beast, you are just a beast. How could you do such a rebellious thing? I'm going to beat you to death today. Mr. Lai, Dr. Yi, this matter was all done by Wang Gixing on his own initiative. I didn't know anything about it. Please spare me once. Hu Yaoqing's kick was very severe, and Wang Gixing screamed repeatedly after being kicked. She was almost dying of grievance. That lame guy is just a stinky beggar. How could the friends he knew be so awesome? I'm not convinced. But the severe pain still forced her to give in. I was wrong. It's all my fault. Dr. Yi, please forgive me once. Dr. Yi, didn't you ask me to invite Wanner out? I'll go now. Ye Wudao said coldly. Stop, Wang Gixing, come here. The top priority is to eliminate Wanner's psychological shadow as soon as possible and let her see the truth, goodness and beauty of this world. Wang Gixing crawled to Ye Wudao's side. Ye Wudao gave her a few simple instructions and asked her to do as he said. Wang Gixing nodded quickly and rushed to the bathroom. In the bathroom, Muzi covered Wanner's ears with tears streaming down her face. He didn't expect that his good friend, who had the same problem as him, would now grow to this point. He was happy for his old brother from the bottom of his heart. Wang Gixing walked in. When Wanner saw Wang Gixing, she trembled with fright and plunged into the mouse's arms. Wang Gixing forced her face to smile and said, Wanner is so amazing. You hid so well. It took so long for my aunt to find you. Wanner, is it fun to hide and seek? Chapter 190. Being humble like a grandson. Hide and seek. Wanner was stunned for a moment and whispered, Aunt, you are playing hide and seek with Wanner. Wang Gixing nodded. Yes, your father said Wanner is very good at hide and seek, so I want to play with you. Wanner clapped her hands excitedly. Wanner is so good. Several ants passed by me just now and didn't notice Wanner. She clapped her hands and touched the wound on her finger, and gasped in pain. Wang Gixing asked hurriedly, Wanner, your finger still hurts. You know, actually, it was your aunt who was treating you. Wanner smiled even more happily. Aunt gave Wanner acupuncture to treat the disease. Then thank you, Aunt. Wanner won't cry next time she gets an acupuncture. Wang Gixing said, Wanner is so brave, she only cried twice and then stopped crying. You won Aunt in hide and seek, and you are so brave to give you an acupuncture. Aunt decided to reward you to live in a big house, okay? Wanner was overjoyed. Big house. Like the big house of Grandpa Sun's house. That's great, Wanner can dance in the big house. Wang Gixing said, Yes, Wanner dances very beautifully, dance for Aunt later. Let's go, Aunt will take you to the big house now. With that, Wang Gixing took the two to the luxury ward. On Ye Wudao's side, Hu Yaoqing was begging Lai Yixiao to spare his life, and the criminal police captain of the Ministry of Industry and Security came with people. The captain was shocked to see Lai Yixiao was also here, and then he came forward to greet him enthusiastically, as humble as a grandson. Lai Yixiao was at the department level, and he, as the captain, was not worth mentioning in front of him. Lai Yixiao did not greet him, and directly asked him to take Hu Yaoqing away. This kind of parasite must be eradicated to prevent future troubles. Hu Yaoqing collapsed in despair. What the hell did he do today? He was the one who called the captain to catch Ye Wudao, but now he was taken away. What fate is? Lai Yixiao said respectfully, Mr. Yi, this Renai Hospital is actually the full asset of our Chinese Medicine Association. Last time you saved the day and saved the face of Chinese medicine. This time you found a black sheep for us. You have made an invaluable contribution. So, on behalf of the Chinese Medicine Association, I will give you this hospital. I hope, Mr. Yi will not refuse. Ye Wudao said coldly, not interested. Lai Yixiao begged bitterly, Mr. Yi, please accept it. Otherwise we will feel guilty. Everyone present was at a loss. One begged for a gift worth tens of millions, and the other refused to accept it. What the hell is this world? Finally, Ye Wudao was annoyed and said, Forget it, I'll ask my dad if he is interested. Okay. Lai Yixiao nodded hurriedly. We end Zhu.me.cc. Ye Wudao took out his mobile phone and called Zhu Dahai, but no one answered after calling several times. There was no other way, so Ye Wudao had to call Zhu Linger. Linger, how is the integration of our Daoling group going? Zhu Linger said, It's almost done, with only a few small details to be dealt with. Ye Wudao said, Well, that's good. I called you just to ask you, if I give you another hospital, would it be convenient for you to integrate it? Zhu Linger's heartbeat accelerated. Another hospital. This little salesman is really a hardworking little ant moving property home every day. And each move is worth tens of millions. There is no reason to refuse something that is delivered to your door. Zhu Linger nodded quickly. Yes, of course I have to. Also, tell me, which friend of yours gave you this hospital? Chapter 191. Ye Wudao, you are getting arrogant. Ye Wudao smiled bitterly. I'll tell you when I get home. Hey, I don't want it. They insist on giving it to me. This kind of person who only makes things difficult for me is not my friend. Zhu Liner, Ye Wudao, you are so proud. At this time, Mouse passed by with Wanner in his arms. After Wanner saw Sun Sheng, she quickly stretched out her hands and shouted, Grandpa Sun, hold me. Grandpa Sun, hold me. Hey, okay. Sun Sheng held Wanner in his arms lovingly. Was Wanner obedient today? Wanner nodded. Grandpa, Wanner is very obedient. She didn't even cry when she got the acupuncture. By the way, Grandpa, I've finished all the apples you gave me, and there's not a single bit left. Sun Sheng smiled and said, Okay, Wanner is so good. It seems that Sun Sheng has helped Mouse a lot in the past. Ye Wudao said. Sun Sheng, this hospital doesn't have a dean now, so you should be the dean first. What? Sun Sheng cried with joy. At his age, he originally thought that his ancestors would bless him if he could survive until retirement. He never expected that he would be able to make further progress. The ancestors bless no, it's the master's blessing. As expected, this master was not recognized in vain. Ye Wudao personally sent Wanner to the luxurious ward. After he asked Wanner to take good care of herself, he left. Wanner's congenital heart disease is indeed a medical problem all over the world, but in Ye Wudao's eyes it is just an ordinary intractable disease. When Wanner's physical cultivation reaches its peak, Ye Wudao will personally come to the rescue. After Mosey put Wanner to sleep, he found Sun Sheng. He handed a bank card and a box to Sun Sheng and said, Uncle Sun, this card contains all my savings. In the box are all the clothes I made for Wanner until she was 12 years old. After I die, please give these things to Ye Wudao and let her help raise my daughter. Tell him that I will be a cow and a horse in my next life, and then I can repay his kindness. The old dean felt a little uncomfortable. Mouse, I don't think you should give up now. My master has superb medical skills. Maybe he can cure your cancer. Mouse smiled bitterly. Uncle Sun, please don't comfort me. My cancer cells have spread throughout my body, and even if God comes down to earth, it will be irreversible. Hey, as long as my daughter can live in good health, I will die in peace. Sun Sheng was filled with emotion. Hey, this man is so screwed. Why don't good people live long? Braised pork ribs, steamed fish, ground pot chicken, steamed pork, ground 3 delicacies. The dinner at Zulinger's house was very sumptuous, and all of them were Ye Wudao's favorite dishes. Only the software flour cake made by Grandma is Zulinger's favorite. But Zulinger wasn't angry either. Ye Wudao got him a hospital today, so let's treat him as a reward. Before starting, Chen Mei said, let's make a rule in our family. From today on, no matter how busy we are at night, we must go home for dinner, no problem. I agree. Everyone voted with a show of hands. Let's start. Chen Mei smiled and handed out chopsticks, and everyone started to eat hungrily. Seeing how much her family loves to eat her own food, Chen Mei feels a great sense of accomplishment. Grandma also had a long-lost smile on her face. She was happy from the bottom of her heart that her daughter's family was so happy. Of course, it would be even better if you have a child. After finishing the meal, Zulinger put down the bowl and chopsticks and said, Ye Wudao, can you tell me about the hospital now? Chapter 192. When can you let me get into bed? Ye Wudao said, it's not a big deal. The former hospital director was corrupt and I reported it. Lai Yixiao was furious and removed the director and gave me the hospital. Zulinger said, just because you reported it, people gave you a hospital? You are fooling around. Ye Wudao, of course it's not just because of this. Do you remember the last global forum on traditional Chinese medicine? I saved the face of traditional Chinese medicine at the forum and forced Western medicine to apologize to traditional Chinese medicine. At that time, Lai Yixiao wanted me to be the president of the Chinese Medicine Association, but I didn't agree. He had to settle for the second best and gave me this hospital. Zulinger suddenly realized, oh, this is more like it. Pa. The bowl and chopsticks in Zhu Dahai's hand fell to the ground and broke into pieces. Lai Yuhyun scolded, Old Zhu, what are you doing? You are so old and still breaking bowls. Zhu Dahai ignored Lai Yuhyun and just stared at Ye Wudao. Xiao Yi, what did you just say? Ye Wudao slapped his head and said, by the way, Dad, I called you today but you didn't answer, and I haven't told you yet. Lai Yixiao gave me Renai Hospital, and you will be the boss of that hospital in the future. Swish. Zhu Dahai jumped up like a spring, rummaged through the boxes to find his suit, and ran out. Lai Yuhyun shouted, Hey, what are you doing in the middle of the night? Zhu Dahai, nonsense, I'm going to the hospital to inspect the work. Lai Yuhyun scolded, inspecting the work, I think you want to go to the hospital to show off. Zhu Dehai just rushed out of the door and suddenly fell back and said to Ye Wudao, "Xiao Yi, thank you." Tears welled up in the corners of his eyes and he cried excitedly, "Ye Wudao, you're welcome, Dad." Grandma sighed, "Oh, I never thought that Dehai would become the boss of a hospital one day. I underestimated him before." Lai Yuhuan said, "Mom, it's not his ability to become the boss of a hospital. It's all thanks to Xiaoi. If it weren't for Xiaoi, Dehai would have lost his job as a doctor now HMPH. You're showing off as soon as you become the boss. You're so useless. You're far from our Xiaoi." Zulinger said, "Okay, Mom, don't say that. Dad worked in that hospital for 30 years and was a coward for 30 years. Now that he's the boss, it's normal for him to go back and vent his anger." Dinner ended quickly. Chang Xiaoyu packed a locust flour cake as a midnight snack and left. Grandma and Lai Yuhuan slept in the same room. Ye Wudao could sleep in the same room with Zulinger again. However, Zulinger was determined and insisted that Ye Wudao sleep on the floor. This made Ye Wudao feel helpless. "Linger, when can you let me have?" Zulinger looked him up and down. "I found that you are very secretive, and there are still many secrets on you that I don't know. When I know you thoroughly, you can have with me." "Ye Wudao, this is not easy, can I confess it myself? In fact, I'm super rich, the kind of rich enough to rival a country." Zulinger, "Bah, why don't you say you are a god?" "Ye Wudao, you are right." Just after he lay down on the floor, his old classmate Fan Yun sent a message. "Fan Yun, Mr. Yi, I have investigated the matter you asked me to investigate. Are you free now?" "Ye Wudao, it's convenient. Tell me, who broke the mouse's leg back then?" "Fan Yun, it was a village bully named Juhu in Zhaojiazhuang." Chapter 193. Do you prefer a daughter or a son? Juhu. Ye Wudao's eyes were filled with murderous intent. This guy is really haunting. Humph, he has been jumping around under his nose for a while. It's time to get rid of him. Fan Yun asked again, "Mr. Yi, will you attend the class reunion tomorrow?" Ye Wudao, no. He originally went to the class reunion to see Heiazi, but he had already found Heiazi, so there was no need to go. Fan Yun, Mr. Yi, I think you should go tomorrow. Heiazi's wife will also go. The 4 words Heiazi's wife attracted Ye Wudao's attention. "Ye Wudao, what's going on?" "I heard from Heiazi that his wife is dead." Fan Yun, actually, Heiazi's wife is our old classmate, Jumin. Back then, Heiazi was also a millionaire boss. Jumin coveted his money and married him. But later, Jumin and Juhu got together. The 2 of them teamed up to steal Heiazi's property and broke his leg. Except for their newborn daughter, she left nothing for Heiazi. Damn it. My brother was ruined by a woman, and she was an old classmate. If Heiazi doesn't get rid of this anger, he may never be able to raise his head. He immediately replied, "Tomorrow's class reunion, I will be there." Fan Yun sent a smiley face. "Okay. W circumflex W circumflex W circumflex. When zoomai.cc because of Heiazi's matter, Ye Wudao tossed and turned, unable to fall asleep, and simply chatted with Zulinger. "Linger, do you like a daughter or a son?" Zulinger said, "Of course a girl. I want to buy a beautiful princess dress for my daughter, comb a beautiful hairstyle, and dress her up as a little princess." Ye Wudao smiled and said, "Okay, I will give you a little princess someday." Zulinger blushed instantly. "What are you talking about? Go to bed quickly." Ye Wudao didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Zulinger misunderstood his meaning. He just wanted Wanner to recognize Zulinger as her godmother. At the same time, Chen Mei's family in the same community. These days, Chen Mei has been very depressed. Her clinic has completely closed down, and she has lost a lot of money for rent and medicine. In order to subsidize the family, Chen Yazhai can only find a low-level job to support her family. Looking at Zulinger's family, with the help of Ye Wudao, they are getting more and more prosperous, surpassing her family dozens of times. Especially today, I heard that Ye Wudao also took over Rinai Hospital. Chen Mei envied, and hated. But more of it was regret. If Chen Yashai had married Ye Wudao, she would be the one enjoying all this now. But it was useless to regret now. Ye Wudao would never marry Chen Yashai. Since she couldn't get him, she could only destroy him. Now, her only hope was her son Chen San, who was a non-commissioned officer. She asked cautiously, San, didn't staff officer who want to deal with Ye Wudao? Why hasn't he made any move yet? Chen San sneered, Mom, haven't you heard that saying? If you want him to perish, let him run rampant first. If he jumps around again tonight, I'll kill him tomorrow. Chen Mei was overjoyed. San, so you already have a plan to deal with him? Chen San nodded. Of course, today Staff Officer Hu and I, as well as Zhu Hu, came up with a brilliant plan. Chen Mei couldn't help but be happy. Humph, no matter how capable Ye Wudao is, he's still a waste. In front of my son's power, he's nothing. Chapter 194. You really know how to have fun. Chen San took out his cell phone and called Zhu Hu, confirming it one last time to ensure that everything was foolproof. Zhu Hu, have you arranged everything? Zhu Hu hurriedly replied, everything is ready, only the east wind is missing. At the class reunion tomorrow, I will let Ye Wudao kneel down and call me Grandpa. Chen San smiled, very indifferent. Zhu Hu also had a grim smile on his face. I never thought that this waste, Heiazi, would be of great use one day. Fortunately, I only broke his legs and didn't kill him. The next morning, Fan Yun called Ye Wudao. Mr. Yi, the class reunion is scheduled at the night bar. That's the bar opened by Heiazi's ex-wife Zhu Min with Heiazi's money. Ye Wudao nodded. Well, I'll go. Fan Yun said, Mr. Yi, I'm a little busy today. I'm afraid I won't be able to go there until later. Do you want me to say hello to my classmates in advance? Fan Yun was worried that his classmates would mock Ye Wudao for being in jail. Ye Wudao said coldly, You are not allowed to interfere in my affairs. Fan Yun nodded hurriedly, understood. After hanging up the phone, Ye Wudao called Shen Fenchen again. Help me check the night bar. In 2 hours, I want it to go bankrupt. Shen Fenchen, no problem, Mr. Yi. In fact, I can do it in half an hour. Ye Wudao. Delay it until 2 hours later. I want to torture the other party little by little, so that I can make the other party more painful and relieve my hatred. Although Shen Fenchen didn't understand who the Ye Wudao was talking about he still agreed readily. Ye Wudao drove to the night bar. Zhu Min, Zhu Hu, how much you took from my brothers back then, I want you to spit it out without a penny less. We enzuemi.cc even more. At the same time, in the night bar, Zhu Hu climbed up from the bed and patted the beauty next to him fiercely. Zhu Min, get up and work. Lying next to him was his little woman, Heiazi's ex-wife, Zhu Min. Zhu Min didn't want to get up, so she hugged Zhu Hu and said coquettishly, Brother Hu, if you don't let me eat enough, I won't have the energy to work. Zhu Hu laughed and scolded. Half an hour later, the two were full of energy. Zhu Hu said, Are you full? Call that cripple quickly. Zhu Min shyly hit Zhu Hu's chest, looked at the two and chuckled. Brother Hu, this is not good, isn't it too bad? Zhu Hu laughed wildly. Hee hee, don't you like me like this? Otherwise, can you follow me wholeheartedly? Zhu Min rolled her eyes. Brother Hu, you are really good at playing. She took out her mobile phone and called Heiazi. The call was connected after a long time. Heiazi said coldly, Do you have something to call me? Zhu Min, nothing. Can't I call you if nothing is wrong? Heiazi frowned. What are you doing? Zhu Min, I hiss. I'm eating spicy strips. Hiss, too spicy. I'm going to have a class reunion at the night bar. You should come early. Heiazi, no. The night bar was opened by Zhu Min with his own money. How could he be willing to go? Zhu Min cursed. You dare to refuse me, you cripple. Not coming off. Forget it if you don't come. I originally wanted to give up the competition for the custody of Wanner. Since you're not coming, then forget it. Don't blame me for not remembering the old friendship and turning my face against you. Hayazi was overjoyed. Really? If I'm willing to attend the class reunion, will you really give up the custody of Wanner? Chapter 195 Night Bar. Hayazi saw through Ju-min, a woman, and knew that if Wanner followed her, there would be no good ending. She might even lose her life. So he had to fight for the custody. Ju-min, of course. Hayazi, okay, I'll be there soon. Ju-min, well, I'll wait for you. Gently it hurts Sem. Hayazi hung up the phone silently, his face full of grief and sadness. Hey, this world, why do you treat me like this? On the side, Wanner whispered, Dad, who called you? It sounds like Mom's voice. Hayazi forced a smile and hugged Wanner. Wanner, Mom is dead. Don't think about her anymore. Oh. Wanner looked disappointed. Wanner has no mom. Hayazi's heart was broken, and he turned his head and wiped his tears. He told Wanner a few words, asked her to be obedient in the hospital alone, and then left in a hurry to attend the class reunion. As soon as Hayazi left, Juhu led his men to the hospital. Watching Hayazi's departure, Juhu showed a grim smile on his face. Humph, Hayazi, you have helped me a lot this time. Brothers, take action. The people he brought got off the car immediately and rushed into the hospital. The scale of the night bar is not the largest in Linhai City, but it is also above average. In the past, the entrance of the bar was crowded with people and luxury cars, but today it is a bit deserted. In order to entertain classmates and show off his capital, the bar owner Zhu Min deliberately closed the bar for a day and held a class reunion. Classmates came one after another. There is no doubt that Zhu Min became the focus of the whole audience. First of all, Zhu Min is now the best among the classmates, with a net worth of 1 million. Secondly, Zhu Min is naturally beautiful and knows how to dress up. She is as sexy as a beauty on earth and attracts people's attention. In addition to covering sensitive parts, thighs, career lines, belly buttons, etc. are all exposed. The male students' eyes glowed green, and they were willing to be Zhu Min's lickers. Although the female students couldn't stand Zhu Min's debauchery, they still greeted her with smiles and flattered her on the surface. Especially a classmate named Wang Qiang, who licked her the most. Zhu Min, you are getting more and more beautiful now. And you are outstanding in ability, and you built this bar by yourself. Among us, you are the best. Others also echoed. Yes, Zhu Min is beautiful and rich. I envy her so much. Ha ha, there's nothing to envy. Zhu Min is a child of destiny. We can't compare. Not to mention among our classmates, even among people of the same age, Zhu Min's achievements are now top-notch. Zhu Min was very happy, but still pretended to be modest. Classmates, you are too kind. My little industry is nothing at all. If you want to say who is doing the best now, of course it is our old classmate, Ye Wudao. Everyone immediately became interested. I haven't contacted Ye Wudao for a long time. What is he doing now? I heard that he went to jail after graduation, and now he is released. When we were in school, he and Hayazi were the most cowardly in our class. How well can he do now? Zhu Min said, he has married a beautiful wife now, stays at home all day, and can eat soft rice without doing anything. Unlike us, we will starve if we don't work for a day. Puff, ha ha. Everyone laughed. It turns out that the loser became a live-in son-in-law. Wang Qiang asked, what about Hayazi? With Hayazi's appearance, he doesn't have the capital to be a gigolo. Chapter 196 Who is Ye Wudao? Zhu Min said, Hayazi, he is now moving bricks at the construction site. I heard that he was so poor that he had no money to eat, so he went to sell blood for food. Everyone laughed even more happily, feeling superior. Although they were not as good as Zhu Min, they were many times better than Hayazi and Ye Wudao. Trash is trash, and they can only be stepped on by them for the rest of their lives. Zhu Min said, classmates, please help me later. Wang Qiang said, it's my duty. Zhu Min, you say. Zhu Min said, help me get Ye Wudao drunk later. Wang Qiang asked curiously, oh, why are you getting him drunk? Jumin said, I have some connection with Heazi and Ye Wudao, and I want to punish him a little later. Wang Qiang was furious. Humph, Ye Wudao is nothing, dare to mess with our Jumin. Don't worry, we promise to get that guy drunk later. Classmates, how about this? Let's each toast him a glass of wine later. I guess he will faint before he drinks half of it. Classmates responded with agree, and support. Jumin laughed grimly. The plan started smoothly. As the saying goes, a good start is half the success. In her eyes, Ye Wudao has been sentenced to death. Ye Wudao and Heazi were the last. In order to please Jumin, Wang Qiang mocked, Hey, isn't this Ye Wudao, the big boss? Why are you here when you're not at home eating gigolo? There's no gigolo for you here. Ye Wudao remained calm. Wang Qiang said, Haha, that's right, I didn't expect you still knew me. Very good. Ye Wudao took out a piece of paper and a pen and wrote down Wang Qiang's name. This account will be settled at the end. Everyone was stunned when they saw Ye Wudao's strange behavior. After a moment, they burst into laughter. This guy actually wrote down names in a small notebook. He still thought it was school time now, writing down names and handing them to the teacher, so that the teacher could teach the students a lesson. So childish. Jumin said, Okay, classmates, sit down. Everyone sat down around the round table. Heazi ran to Jumin and whispered, You said that if I come, you will give up the fight for custody. I brought the agreement, please sign it. Jumin said impatiently, Why are you in such a hurry? Wait until the class reunion is over before signing. Hurry up and sit down. Heazi had no choice but to sit down next to Ye Wudao. Jumin also sat down. Waiter, pour the wine. The waiter hurriedly poured wine for everyone. Wang Qiang raised his glass and said, It's so hard for our classmates to get together. I suggest that we drink a glass together. This glass must be finished to express our friendship as classmates. The classmates agreed one after another, Okay, let's drink it. Wang Qiang drank it all in one gulp, leaving no drop of wine. The others followed suit. Ye Wudao naturally drank it too. However, Heazi was embarrassed. Well, classmates, I'm sorry. I took cefuroxime today and can't drink. How about I drink tea instead of wine? How can that be? A classmate named Liu Yishu stood up and scolded. All the classmates drank, but you didn't drink. This is not giving face to the classmates. We nzuemi.cc others also criticized Heazi. Heazi was in a dilemma and didn't know what to do. Ye Wudao squinted at Liu Yishu. May I ask your name? Liu Yishu said, I am Liu Yishu. How come you don't even remember me? Ye Wudao nodded. Very good. As he said that, he wrote down Liu Yishu's name on the paper. Puff. Liu Yishu laughed. I think you are mentally ill. What era is it and you still remember names? You don't want to give it to our head teacher? I'm sorry, our head teacher is dead. Chapter 197 Hailong Group. Haha. Everyone burst into laughter. Jumin suddenly said, Heazi, you don't have to drink, but you have to find someone to drink this glass of wine for you. Wang Qiang understood Jumin's meaning and said, Heazi, you and Ye Wudao had a good time in school. Why don't you let Ye Wudao drink for you? Others also agreed. Heazi said, Forget it, I'll drink it. He didn't want to embarrass Ye Wudao. Ye Wudao patted Heazi on the shoulder. Forget it, I'll drink it for you. But this is not the way to drink it. Waiter, come here. The waiter hurriedly ran up. Sir, how can I help you? Ye Wudao, go, bring me a basin. The waiter was puzzled but still did as he was told and brought a wash basin. Wang Qiang sneered, Ye Wudao, you don't want to vomit in the basin, do you? Don't disgust us, go to the toilet if you want to vomit. Ye Wudao ignored him and poured all the wine in the mouse's wine glass into the basin. Wang Qiang was furious. Ye Wudao, what the hell do you mean? Ye Wudao suddenly filled the glass with wine and drank it all. Wang Qiang was relieved. Who cares if he pours it or not, just drink it. As soon as he finished drinking, Wang Qing immediately picked up the wine glass again. Ye Wudao, I heard that you are now a live-in son-in-law and you are eating gigolo. Eating gigolo is also a skill. I admire you. Come, I'll toast you a glass. The crowd laughed. Ye Wudao, are you sure? Wang Qing, what's certain about this? Okay. Ye Wudao agreed readily. However, he didn't drink it directly, but poured a glass of wine into the basin, then filled the glass again and drank it all. Everyone was puzzled. How could this guy drink one cup after another? However, who cares, as long as he doesn't drink less? The bar is always full of wine, so why worry that he will run out of wine? Wang Qing had just finished toasting when another male classmate stood up. Ye Wudao, a man of 7 feet tall, you can't be a gigolo. I am now the HR manager of Hailong Group. Drink with me and I will introduce you to a job. The crowd was in an uproar. Hailong Group? It's a Fortune 500 company. You are so young that you can be a manager in Hailong Group. Your future is limitless. Ye Wudao, you have to accompany them well. They can arrange a job for you and you can live a worry-free life for the rest of your life. Ye Wudao glanced at him. What's your name? Puff. The other party laughed. It's okay to change your name. My name is Zhang Senfeng. Do you want to remember my name too? Ye Wudao nodded, and then wrote down the words Zhang Senfeng of Hailong Group. Haha, you're brave. Come on, drink. Zhang Senfeng drank it all in one gulp. Ye Wudao also poured a cup into the basin first, and then drank a cup. A female classmate stood up. Ye Wudao, long time no see. I wonder if you still remember me, your deskmate. Just for the friendship of our deskmates, I have to toast you a glass. Ye Wudao looked at the other person. Liu Kaiqian? Liu Kaiqian smiled and said, It's really an honor to be remembered by you. I'm working with Fan Yun now. Do you still remember Fan Yun? You wrote a love letter to him back then. Mentioning Fan Yun, everyone became interested. What is Fan Yun doing now? Yes, why didn't she come today? Chapter 198 Dignity or Life. Liu Kaiqian said, Fan Yun is now the branch manager of Crystal Palace and also owns some shares of Crystal Palace. She is really busy and can come over later. Ye Wudao, have a drink with me. I will help you and Fan Yun match up. The House of Representatives laughed. Who is Fan Yun? A real school beauty. Now she owns shares of Crystal Palace and is super rich. He is a son-in-law, and he still wants to pursue Fan Yun. A toad wants to eat swan meat. Ye Wudao solemnly wrote the name Liu Kaiqian on the paper. Then, as usual, he poured a glass of wine into the basin and then poured another glass. Heazi hurriedly stopped him and said, Brother Yi, I will drink it for you. You can't drink anymore. Ye Wudao smiled slightly. Don't worry, Heazi, I'm fine. He raised his head and drank all the wine. Soon, everyone present toasted Ye Wudao a glass of wine. Except for 2 female classmates who couldn't stand it and didn't want to be in the same boat with Zhu Min, no one toasted. Every time someone toasted, Ye Wudao would first write down their names, then pour a glass of wine into the basin, and then drink. Now, the basin is full of wine, which means that Ye Wudao has also drunk a basin of wine. Ye Wudao's face was red and his neck was thick, and he was shaky and might faint at any time. Zhu Min was very happy. So far, the smoothness of the plan has exceeded her imagination. W circumflex W circumflex W circumflex. When Zumai.cc she raised the glass and said, Heazi, after all, we are husband and wife. We have to drink one. Of course, if you can't drink, I won't force you, or you can let Ye Wudao drink for you. There was an uproar at the scene. What's going on? Heazi and Zhu Min are husband and wife. Damn it, what qualifications does Heazi, a waste, have to defile their goddess? When they thought that Zhu Min had been pressed under this dead cripple, everyone was indescribably depressed and disgusted. They stared at Heazi with cannibalistic eyes and started to criticize him. You dead cripple, you must drink this glass of wine. Zhu Min gave you face by offering you wine. Don't be shameless. It's okay if you don't drink it. Let Ye Wudao drink it for you. Hayazi was forced into a desperate situation and said with red eyes, "Okay, I drink it, I drink it." Ye Wudao stretched out his hand to stop Hayazi. Hayazi can't drink it. If you drink it, your dignity will be gone. Wang Qiang jumped up and cursed, "If you don't drink it, your life will be gone. Dignity or life, choose it yourself." Ye Wudao sneered at Wang Qiang and then drew a big X on Wang Qiang's name on the list. He poured the wine into the basin and poured another glass. "I'll drink it for Hayazi." Drank it all in one gulp again. At this time, he had drunk more than 2 kilograms of white wine. He staggered and finally couldn't hold on. With a plop, he fell on the table and fainted. "Brother Yi, are you okay?" Hayazi was frightened and patted Ye Wudao's back. "Huh." Zhu Min breathed a sigh of relief. This bastard finally fainted and they could proceed to the next plan. She waved her hand and signaled everyone to be quiet. "Hayazi, I heard that you have cancer?" Hayazi lowered his head. "It has nothing to do with you." When everyone heard this, their depressed mood dissipated by half. Even if this guy slept with Zhu Min, so what? He's still going to die. But this kind of trash, even if he dies 10,000 times, is not qualified to defile Zhu Min. Zhu Min said, "Who said it has nothing to do with me? If you die, who will treat our daughter's illness? Who will take care of her in the future? Now, I can give you a chance to use your life in exchange for Wanner's worry-free food and clothing for the rest of her life." Since it was about his daughter, Hayazi had to take it seriously. "What do you mean?" Zhu Min took a sip of wine. "If I jump off the tower crane at the construction site of Love in the City, I can make Wanner rich and prosperous for the rest of her life." Chapter 199. I Can't Die Like This. Zhu Min and Zhu Hu had already discussed this. Once the mouse dies on the construction site of King Cheng Love, they will fake the murder scene and falsely accuse Ye Wudao of pushing the mouse down. By then, not only will the alluring love project be aborted, but Ye Wudao will also have to pay the price with his life. What? The mouse raised his head sharply. How could this woman be so vicious and want her own life? He snorted, wishful thinking. Really? Zhu Min sneered. I hope you won't regret it. With that said, Zhu Min took out his mobile phone and dialed Zhu Hu's number. The call was quickly connected and Zhu Hu's voice came from the other side. "Zhu Min, how is the situation over there?" Zhu Min said, "Everything is ready, all we need is the east wind." "Brother Hu, where is Wanner? Let Wanner speak." Wanner's heartbreaking cry came from the other side of the phone. "Dad, I want Daddy to hold me, Wanner." Wanner was kidnapped. Mouse raised his head sharply, his eyes were frighteningly red. Wanner, you kidnapped Wanner." He rushed toward Zhu Min, trying to grab the phone. Zhu Min turned to one side and successfully dodged it. At the same time, he tripped with his feet. The mouse fell to the ground with a thud, knocking out 2 teeth. Ignoring the pain, he stood up and shouted, "Zhu Min, that is your daughter. How could you be so cruel to your daughter?" Zhu Min said coldly, "Go away, how could I be so cruel to my daughter? It was Wanner who was kidnapped by Zhu Hu. I am saving Wanner now. As long as you die on the construction site, I can rescue Wanner." "Okay, I'll die. Mouse grabbed the wine bottle next to him, smashed it, and put a piece of glass against his neck. "Tell him that I will commit suicide now and let him let Wanner go." Zhu Min said, "It's useless to die here. You still have 10 minutes to go to the construction site. If you exceed 10 minutes, even if you die, I can't guarantee that the other party won't break up the vote." Mouse was desperate and felt like the world was spinning. He knelt on the ground, held his head in his hands, and cried loudly, I am useless, I'm sorry for you." On one side was his daughter who depended on each other for life, and on the other side were good brothers who stayed together through thick and thin. He really didn't know how to choose. The students watching this scene were horrified. They didn't expect that this woman Zhu Min would be so cruel and ruthless. She actually used her own daughter to threaten her ex-husband to commit suicide. Even if tiger poison doesn't eat its seeds, Ju-min is going too far. Someone whispered to persuade Ju-min, forget it no matter what, the child is innocent. Shut up, mother. Ju-min scolded, you have no place to speak here. However, there were still a few soft-hearted female classmates who continued to persuade Ju-min. Wang Qiang also jumped up and cursed, humph, this useless rat has defiled our goddess. Even if he dies 10,000 times, it won't be enough to satisfy his hatred. This loser's daughter is probably also a loser, so why not die? Now everyone didn't dare to speak anymore and remained silent collectively. Ju-min opened a bottle of wine and poured it all on Mouse's head. Mouse, do you know? Thinking about how I once slept in the same bed with you, I feel sick and want to vomit. Only if you die will I feel better. You still have 9 minutes now. It's worth your life to exchange your life for your daughter's. Mouse suddenly laughed crazily. Haha, Ju-min, do you think I don't know what you are thinking? You want to use my death to frame my brother. My brother has lived an upright life and has experienced all the sorrows of the world. He can't just die like this. Chapter 200. Let's settle our accounts. Ju-min angrily scolded. Well, then you just wait for Wanner to die. The mouse said, just die, it will be fine if you die. Once and for all, it will be over. Daughter, haven't you always wanted a mother? Let's meet as a family of 3 on the road to hell. Wanner, don't blame Dad, we can't let others take the blame for us. He stood up and walked towards Ju-min step by step. Ju-min took a step back. What do you want to do? Mouse, even if I die, I will hold you back. Just as Mouse was about to take action, a burst of applause suddenly sounded. This applause was very abrupt in this atmosphere, causing everyone to look sideways. Ye Wudao, it was Ye Wudao who was applauding. W circumflex dot when zoomai.cc. Why did he wake up so quickly? In fact, Ye Wudao didn't faint at all. On the snowy southern border, he often used a burning knife to keep warm. 2 pounds of low-alcohol liquor is nothing to him. He just pretended to be dizzy on purpose. He wanted to see what these people were going to do if they insisted on getting him drunk. Now, the truth is out. And this truth chilled him. I and my brothers built a wall with flesh and blood to defend the peace of the hot summer. How could they have raised such a poisonous woman? The damage caused by the enemy to Ye Wudao was far greater than that of Ju-min. He walked towards Ju-min step by step, filled with murderous intent. Okay, very good. Ju-min, you have successfully refreshed my understanding of viciousness. To describe you as a snake-hearted person is the biggest insult to a snake-scorpion. Ju-min was frightened and stepped back. Ye Wudao, what are you going to do? Ye Wudao, I want your life. With that said, he grabbed Ju-min's hand. Ju-min was frightened and realized that Ye Wudao was trying to seize the phone, so he quickly held it tightly. Ye Wudao gently broke his hand. Click. Ju-min's hand was broken. Ju-min screamed and involuntarily let go of the phone. Ye Wudao took the phone, looked at Ju-hoo's phone, then took out his own phone and dialed Lone Wolf. Give me a number, 135. My goddaughter is in his hands. I want to see someone within 10 minutes. Lone Wolf, understood. Everyone's pupils tightened. This guy had so much strength that he broke an adult's arm with just one move. Is this still the useless loser who was in school? Also, whoever he called just now was really domineering. Mouse looked worried. Brother Ye Wudao comforted. Don't worry, I promise Wanner will be fine, trust me. Mouse gritted his teeth. Okay, I believe you. Ye Wudao put away his phone and glanced at the list he had just written down. Let's take advantage of this moment to settle our accounts. Ju-min cursed angrily. Ye Wudao, you are crazy. Wait, if you dare to break my arm, I will kill you. Still want to settle the score? Go to the underworld to settle the general ledger. Wang Qiang also snorted coldly. Humph. If you dare to commit murder and hurt someone in broad daylight, I will call the police and put you behind bars. You don't know, right? I'm a forensic doctor and have connections in the Ministry of Industrial Safety. With that said, Wang King took out his cell phone to call the police. Call the police? Forget it. Wait until you die and let the police collect your body. Ye Wudao's middle finger suddenly flicked the chopsticks on the table. Whoosh! The chopsticks shot out like bullets. The next second, Wang Qiang's wrist holding the phone was directly pierced by chopsticks, and blood and flesh flew everywhere. Wang Qiang covered his arm and screamed. Blood overflowed from his fingers. No, it spurted out. The artery in his wrist was punctured. If you don't get medical treatment in time, you will bleed to death. All right, legends, that's it for today. If you're ready for the next chapter, smash that like button and flood the comments right now. Remember, we've got 3 days to prove this story needs to continue. Subscribe so you don't miss the drop, and I'll meet you in the next audiobook.